Oh, you know what? I think my I said what I said moment, and it's not a phrase. I really believe my I said what I said moment was my resignation letter.
Mm,
Girl, I laid it all out on the table, okay? I left no stones unturned. I called folks out, and I was like, y'all need to hear it, and this is what it is. Very
mhm,
point blank, very well prepared. I had
mhm.
all of my receipts, okay? I called a special meeting for it. I called a
What?
special meeting to resign.
What's good, y'all? I'm Shakeyla Ingram, the host and creator of Shakeyla's Key to the City. I've had my show since about my college days, where I would like to engage with people of various cities, mostly my classmates. Um, through my service and leadership, I brought my show back as a way to uplift voices within my city in Fayetteville, North Carolina, so people would feel that they were heard, helped, or created space to help someone. I've done a lot in these 30 years of my life, and now that I'm no longer an elected official, I get to fully move how I want to move and say what I really want to say. And now that I have a physical key, I'm empowered to know that back when I was in college starting this show, I didn't need to have a key to empower people to show up for themselves within their cities or wherever their purpose called them. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of Hats Off Sister Talk, where today I have the pleasure of spending some time with Gail Johnson, a former city commissioner of Gainesville, Florida, where she was elected at large in 2018 and sparked some controversy by resigning in 2021. She was also a co founder and organizer at Florida Forward Coalition. And as a former policymaker in her former roles, she centered the voices and needs of those most marginalized to be a catalyst for inclusion, decision making, and systemic change rooted in justice and equity. She graduated with a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Florida with a degree in English literature. Her previous career included founding and publishing a arts and culture magazine in Brooklyn, New York, and worked at feminist publication Bust magazine. She was on the board of Planned Parenthood of South, East, and North Florida, co-chair of the governance committee at PSEFL, a member of Local Progress, and a founding member of Local Progress for Organizing Committee. She was the former chair of the Race and Equity Subcommittee at the City of Gainesville and served on several committees for National League of Cities, NLC, including Race, Equity, and Leadership Council, Women in Municipal Government, and Black Caucus. She's passionate about social justice, food justice, carceral injustice, and reproductive justice. She supported efforts for achieving racial and gender equity, both in city government and the community at large. From insight to implementation, at every step in between, Johnson thrives in unfamiliar territory with the intention on improving the collective experience. When she wasn't spending her time at meetings, community events, taking or talking with community members, or researching policy, She is raising a brilliant and beautiful tween who dabbles in the performing arts and sports. Within all of her former community work, she adds another layer of community building as a global traveler while bringing along sisters from various walks of life with her curated excursions. Gail Johnson, everyone. Welcome, Gail. How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm so good. Thank you for having me. It's so nice to see you again.
Good to see you. So, Gail, I am just want to thank you so much for saying yes to being a guest on Hat Sauce Sister Talk. Means a lot to me. I remember, I think I met you in 2021.
I
And
think.
it was right after, you had stepped down and
Was it
and
right
gave
after or
up.
was I thinking about it?
No, it was right after. I think we met in October. We were in
Okay.
Arizona, and because
Arizona.
it happened like a few months before that, right?
Okay.
I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And so that was like a big thing. And you were just like, I'm done. I'm done.
I was done. I
Yes.
was so
And
done.
I'm with it. I was with it then and I'm with it now. And so before we get into that,
Yeah.
um, you're in Ireland right now, right? That's
I am in
exciting.
Ireland. I am in Ireland. I'm visiting a friend who's on a Fulbright here. I've been traveling with my
Mhm,
daughter for, I think we're on our 8th month, like nonstop, literally. We have a few more countries to go. I think we visited
mhm.
about, I want to say 10 to 12 countries at this point. So I'm in
Wow.
Ireland and it's a little bit rainy and a little bit, cold, which is why I have all this on. But yeah, we're having a really good
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. So yeah, we're going to definitely talk to Gail about her travel. She's a global traveler now, her and baby girl. But I want to, so you have an arts background just like I do. And I want to like what give us something about your journey from being in arts and culture, founding a magazine in Brooklyn, New
Yeah.
York, and
Yeah.
to going to serve as a city commissioner in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah.
What inspired this transition?
So I'll just give you like a short background. When I was in my early 20s, I started a magazine called Energy Magazine. It was about Brooklyn arts and culture, politics. We had dinner parties, fashion. It was everything related to essentially my community in Brooklyn. And it started out in a few neighborhoods, and then we expanded to like more neighborhoods in Brooklyn. And really, I feel like the thread between what I was doing in, founding the magazine in Brooklyn and also my work as a commissioner was always based in community, right? Like it's always like I wanted to showcase the community. I wanted to help bring the community together around, arts and culture and everything that was happening in Brooklyn. And then, as a commissioner, it was about building community, right? It was about representing the community. So I feel like at the kind of the very foundation of a lot of what I do is really centered around community and community building. So I'd say that like that's the common thread between like the work that I was doing in my early 20s and then the work that I was doing in my when was I elected? In my early 40s? In my early 40s, yeah, 20 years. So there was a lot that went on in between that. But I'd say like a good common thread, literally like throughout my life and also throughout whatever I choose to do, as a career.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. So the base of that is community building. Have you, because you made a decision to say that you were done with local government, did have you realized or have you felt that you can community build without being in politics?
Yes. So this is what is
Mhm.
so exciting to me right now is that I like I wonder if we should like give your viewers just a general overview of my service. So I was elected in 2018. I served for 3 years. I was reelected to a second term, won like by 90% of the vote, right? 90%. And then 3 months later, I resigned, and it was a big deal. I mean, it was for some people it was like the sky falling because I really did do an incredible job representing my community. I did a lot of work behind rallying the community behind some of the policies that I wanted to pass and did end up passing. And then it came to a point where, Shakeyla, I realized that like you have been an elected official. You know the energy, time, love, everything that goes into every part of what you do, from the policy making to the research to the meetings that you have to attend, to making sure that people are informed about your decisions and why you make the decisions. Like there is a lot, and it literally encompasses every part of your life, right? Like, we can't go to the supermarket without being on, right? We literally, like every single part of your life. So you're a public figure. People feel like they have this access to you that you either, feel like you should or they should or should not have. Like there's a lot that goes on, right? So, um, one of the reasons why I decided to resign was because all of I'm willing to do that work and put that time and energy into something if I feel like it's actually working, right? And I was so completely, even though I did the work and even though a lot of the policies that I passed were popular with the community that I represented, um, it came to a point where I was just so undermined at every turn, not only from kind of my fellow, my colleagues, but also staff. And even just, you also understand the way that you're treated sometimes by people that disagree with you, right? So that all bundled into something. At that point, I was willing to deal with it if I felt like I was actually making an impact. And in many ways, I was, but it wasn't enough for me to um, to deny the effect that it was having on my health, my physical health, my mental health, my relationships with friends and with family and and also just really with myself. So it was like this list, okay, the benefits and the pros and the cons, right? And when I weighed that list and I saw it, I was like, nah, like this literally is not worth what I felt at the time was my life, right? Um, so it was kind of wild, Shakeyla. Like I don't even really tell this story very often, but I was going through it was months and months of kind of turmoil for me, right? About whether or not I should like not even whether or not I should do it, but turmoil in terms of like the work that I was doing and how it was being received and how it wasn't getting implemented and all of the stuff that went along with it. That I remember it so clearly. I woke up, not even I woke up, I was awakened at like I saw the clock at 3 o'clock in the morning and I literally heard a voice. Now, folks, don't think I'm crazy, but I really did hear a voice that said to me, "You don't have to do this anymore." And that was it. I knew that voice was either, God, goddess, my ancestors, my guardian angels. It was clearly something that was like releasing me from all of that. So then I started to make the decision to resign, which took months. I wanted to make sure the budget was passed. Like I really wanted to wrap everything up so that um, I left everything as neat and tidy as I could. Even tried to find somebody to replace me. Like I really wanted to put all that work in before I resigned. Um, so that's like the background behind why I resigned. And it was important to me to do that for my health and also like my relationships. So to go back to your question, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So to go back to your question about community building, I ended up leaving that and my life just literally pivoted. When I say like my life literally opened up and I am living the life of my dreams, that's exactly what's happening. I made that decision to put myself first, to my daughter first, to put my needs, wants, my joy, my happiness first. And ever since I made that decision, like I said, my life has just opened up. And so we're going back to about to creating community. I don't know how many of your viewers know this, but I ended up I've moved to Ghana. I'm traveling for 8 months with my daughter, almost 9. And then at the end of this time, which will be in about a month, we've been on the road for a while. This is like we've been at this point we've been to like 12 countries. Um, at the end of this, we will be going to um, we'll be moving to Ghana. So now I'm at the point where I'm realizing that, wow, I have to intentionally build community again. I have to intentionally cross culturally understand and navigate a different kind of culture and build community there. So that is what I'm kind of in the process of doing, you know? And it's really fun because I'm making new friends. I'm learning about new businesses. I'm going to be starting a business when I'm there. And also the sense of community I find in Ghana is much different. It's actually something that's put into practice there rather than um, here where we talk about, you know, community and we talk about theoretically what it means to create that and to be involved and to be like an active participant in that. Girl, they like live it here, live it to the point where I'm like, do I really want this much community? People all in your business, decision makers from here and there. I've got stories. So it's a different way and it's a different it's something new and fun for me. So it's a different kind of community building. Building community in Brooklyn, building community in Gainesville. Everywhere I go, it's because you really can't survive without it, right? So yes, that's that common thread of building community from, you know, from different continents at this point.
So congratulations, first of all. Congratulations on or 3 levels. One, for even taking the step to say, you know what, I love the work that I do, community building. Let me take it to another level and let me serve the people in a more greater capacity and let me be intentional about how I do it. Let me be a city commissioner. Let me truly give my time to the people.
Yeah.
2, congratulations for being bold, brave, and authentic enough to listen to that voice and that inner you that says, no, sis, take care of us, take care of yourself. If you need to pull out, pull out. It's okay. The work didn't didn't begin when you just got here. This was just another level, and we will figure this out once you're done with this. So you can be
Yeah.
done. Congratulations for saying, yeah, no, I'm I'm through with this, and congratulations for embracing different another different level of community building. And I think that's just commendable. I got a little teary-eyed and emotional because so funny is in 2021 at Arizona at the Arizona local progress meetup when I met you, I was going through it.
Mm.
And I remember pulling some people aside. They were all black members of the Black Caucus. So they were all black electeds. And I was like, y'all, I need help. And I just broke down. I never forget, we were sitting around a fire pit on a rooftop, and I just started bawling because
Mm.
at that time, Gail, I had written about 4 resignation letters.
Really?
And oh yeah, I had written I think two of them I had shared them out with people, was like, can you read this and make sure like people understand my heart and what my heart is saying? Because like it was so much, and it wasn't what it was trying to work with my board, also watching how the people that say they support you would treat you. And so for me, I represent I represent the community in which I was reared in,
Mhm.
like full out grew up in. So it was like it was so painful. It was so painful, and then there's like treatment of how the men my board were being towards me, and in my brain I was like, oh, I don't get this from the men in my life. You know,
Mm,
how
mhm. How you
no,
allowing yourself to be treated that way? Like,
yeah,
you're right? Weren't you like second guessing yourself? Like, how am I allowing myself to be treated this way?
yeah.
Right?
So it was
Mm-mm.
it was a full outer body experience, and never forget uh Commonwealth Attorney Stephanie Morales. Like she got me, like she helped me. She got me all the way through and through together. And she was like, this is what you're gonna do. And so thank you for her. And the other, and it was she was the only female in that group, and it was nothing but men. And the men were just like, how, first of all, where are the other men that need to hold them accountable, that are doing these things? But so I wholeheartedly understand like the turmoil. I never forget, I was downtown. Two different things. So during the protests and demonstrations, our
Mm,
downtown got it 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 got impacted, and I remember my business owner walked over and he towered over me, white tall man, and he was like, "This is your fault." Like he could have literally pointed me at my chest, and I was just like, "Oh wow, this is." It hurt. It
mm,
hurt because it's like you're
mm,
getting blamed. And then I'm at a community event on my own time, having my own fun, and a white male walks up and says, like hands on his hips. And what's funny is I live 2 streets over from him now. Was He says to me, "What was up with that vote?" And I'm thinking, do I not get like? Is there any other way you could have approached me like this? I felt
mhm,
so disrespected, and I feel, Gail, and you didn't say it, but I'm gonna say it. I feel that that is the experience of a lot of Black women in local government, in politics.
yes.
And I'm saying, and it can happen to women across the board. It can, but you know how when they have the conversation about maternal health, and studies have shown, when you handle Black women's maternal health issues, you
Mhm,
handle all women's maternal health
mhm,
issues.
mhm, mhm,
Black women have Black women carry politics. Let's just be real.
mhm,
Black women carry the voting block. We carry politics. We elect. We we tell you who's going to be the next representative,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
I don't know about the last 4 years, but I don't know about that, and I don't know about what's going to happen now. But from the majority perspective, we do. And so to see that level of freedom, and I when I went back and read some articles, I was offended for you, because it was like a disappointment to the city, and I was just like, who do y'all think y'all are? She what I can see, if you got in your seat and you didn't do anything, and even with that, you served. You came in and you served, right?
With for no
But you went
money, like
for no
peanuts,
gas money.
peanuts.
Yes, yes. And it was funny. I said my entertainment budget is a bit more than what I'm getting paid. It counts, you know what I mean? And so there's no way I'm making a living off of this. I'm not
Yes.
like, there are not like other elected officials that go to the contracting department or go to the permit department, see what contracts are getting ready to come in, and will try to work their way in. I'm not one of these council members that'll sit in a closed session and will know what's going on. You're for you guys. It's shade sessions, right?
Yeah.
We'll sit
Yeah.
in a shade session and try to figure out what type of economic development is getting ready to happen. And then purchase land over yonder in the same area just so happened. I'm not one of those, okay? I am
Yeah.
here to do the work of the people, right?
Yes.
And so it's like a slap in the face to see people say those things about you. And funny enough, I served with a woman who resigned as well. Funny enough, I think she resigned either 2021 or the beginning of 2022.
Mm.
And when I tell you, I remember I was in a community watch meeting, like trying to give a report in tears. Couldn't keep it together because it was like, what is she thinking? And at that time, she resigned because of how she felt there was some corrupt way within our
That
department.
that
And
too.
and I remember we
Mm-hmm.
talked about it. So, and I remember I think it was your mayor, it was like the city
It was the
manager or
city
something.
manager. Absolutely. And the way the people
Hmm.
supported him, I am still floored to this day about what we allowed to go on. And it's so funny that you mentioned the whole freedom part of it because I low key like have chapters of a book written about my life. And it's literally like there's one chapter that I have that I have named, I've titled rather, um the auction block, comma, $400,000. Let me tell you why, okay? Is that people, in order, people have to hold they had to hold a special election in order to vote someone else in, right? Do you know how upset people were that a special election was going to cost $400,000? Number one, when I got paid $32,000, and in order for democracy to to actually work the way it should, a $400,000 election, people were big mad. And I thought to myself, Shakeyla, wow, that is literally what my life is worth to these people. That is what my time, my love, my energy, everything that I put into it, it's worth $400,000 to them. Over the course of, let's say, I would have served a 4-year term. So I broke it down like my life force is worth $100,000 to these people. And that's what I likened it to. I'm like, I'm on the auction block. And then this is what her life is worth, $400,000. The chapter is there, girl. The chapter is there.
Oh, I can't wait to read it. Oh, I can't wait
I
to
can't wait to
read
write it.
it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
It's
good.
gonna be
Oh,
real, real
and
good.
that was an exclusive, I think, y'all. That was an exclusive. So I want to say to you and Tisha Waddell, she was the woman that served on my board and resigned. And
Mhm.
and another thing I want to add to that, and I get it. I don't know, but there could have been some level of fear, you know, because it has kind of always been Black women to stand boldly and say, nah, this is what it is. No, I'm calling you out because of this one
100%.
thing,
All the
because of you
time.
did
All the
this.
time.
And and
The
the woman
consequences of
that
that.
do, yeah, the consequences of that, not alone, and this is not a discredit to the men that are out there that do protect women and protect specifically Black women. You don't see that protection all kind of ways nowadays. It's far and few. And
Mhm.
so for y'all to have said that, for y'all have said, nope, I gotta put me first. How Cookie said in in that show, I gotta put me first, Lucius.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
like that. I A part of me wish I would have said no early on,
Mm.
than to have gotten to where I was. But listen, I thank y'all because I think what you're um, showing women and younger elected officials that come behind you, whatever age you are, you don't have to put up with all kind of things.
No,
You
you
don't
do
have to.
not. You do not.
And it's not. A lot of people say this. What you quitting for? Why you quit? It's not quitting. It's not quitting because evidently you're still at the work. You was about to work before you got here.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
quitting.
Right.
I'm choosing to do this my way, not
Right.
y'all's way. I gotta save me. So get like seriously, thank you for that. Like
Yeah.
straight up, thank you for sharing that because some people once they do something, they don't want to have to go back and talk about it again. You know,
Yeah.
but I do think like it helps people get a better perspective
Yeah.
of where you were, how you were, and that being at the grocery store and you can't even grocery shop. I had to go, and people that know me in Fayetteville know I don't like to go to Skybo or Yakin Road. That is
Mhm.
somewhere that's not anywhere near me. Anything I did it in my district.
Mhm.
The only time that I really needed that I got out of my district is if I was going to get my nails done, because that's really when I don't want to be bothered by anything. And
Mhm.
that's when I
Mhm.
do my most gossiping too. Like that's when I really like I'm in the nail shop going in, and when somebody that know me know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so yeah, when I go get my nails done, which I haven't done in a while because I moved and I'm renovating, I get lost. I don't want to know anybody. I don't want to see anybody. But then I heard
Mhm.
some people are gonna thing down. I was like, I gotta find a new one. But so yeah, that I'll say this to the people, the watchers and listeners. I don't want to say like don't create celebrities out of the elected officials. They're still humans. You know, like they are still humans. I get the pride. I get the oh my gosh, I can touch this person and they are this.
Mhm.
But give them grace, give them space, and show them love and be
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah. Be
Like
kind. The be
do
kind part. Yeah.
yeah, and I wish I had a lot more of that. And I want to say this, I was really mean. Once after like I realized that there was gonna be no type of recourse on my no type of kumbaya, I was
Mhm.
like, that's it. I'm about to be on y'all. ASS what? And I will let them know that to the I'm on your tail. I am on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I was crazy.
I love it. Oh, I need to go
But
back and
yeah,
watch
it
the
was
videotape, girl. What's the
oh
videotape?
please. Oh my gosh, please. It's yeah. It I once I realized that there and I got to a point where I tried to have a sit down. Once I realized, oh, okay, there's no resolving this, bet. It's a war. I'm an
Yeah.
Aries. My birthday is in 5 days. I am an Aries. It's a war at this point.
Yeah.
I can't if
Yeah.
I can't get what I need to get done, I'm going over you through you.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care at this
Yeah.
point because
Yes.
it should not be hard. And you said it earlier. You were like things that you were trying to get done in the community. And this is what I also believe. And I would try to say this. I had a councilwoman. She would try to get a splash pad, Gail, and they will block her every time to get a splash pad.
Splash
And
pad. Splash pad.
a splash pad. And so what I would say is her people put her here to represent. So y'all want to hear from the residents? Da, da, da. Their representation is right here in
Mm-hmm.
front of us, telling
Mm-hmm.
us what they, you know what I mean?
They
And
want a
so
splash
I
pad.
like
Give them a splash pad. Put it in
just
the
out of
budget.
just put thank you. And at one point in time, the city of Fayetteville, they were just throwing out splash pads like they were making a rain at a strip club. What?
Splash
It
pad
was
for
like
you and
what?
splash pad for you.
Yes. So
In certain
that
districts, I'm sure. Let's
baby,
talk about
oh
that.
god, oh my gosh, what?
Mm-hmm.
So what's funny is, so I had the downtown in my district. So because the downtown was in my district, like they kind of, it was the city center, they built out from there. So technically speaking, I had majority of the parks and recreation and amenities in my district. The
Mm-hmm.
issue was, it was where they were. You
Yep.
go look into our most marginalized communities,
Nope.
not a
Not
thing.
there. Not
Or if
there.
it's there, it's ran down. I ran into, in one area, they had a metal slide. A metal slide. And I said, I know this ain't 1990s and before. Can't be. What child is going, somebody's getting sued? Because if I'm a,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so one in another district where a very wealthy community, why does the neighborhood have a golf course that's maintained by our Parks and Rec? What? And I can't get it. You can't give
Every
this
day. You
woman
could
a
give me a
splash
splash
pad.
pad. Girl, I know. And this is the thing. And these are the things that we fought for every day. These are the inequities we recognize. This is what people put us there for, to represent. And then it's like, and then for the smallest thing, you've got to fight so hard for the
So
smallest thing.
hard.
And then once you actually win, they don't implement it. And that's why I was like, that's why I really want to impress upon like everybody that is listening that as soon as I decided to put my joy, literally my joy and my happiness first, everything in my life has changed. Everything. When I say the ancestors just rain down blessings on me,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it is really important, like you said earlier, for women to one, not recognize that they are worthy of being treated well in all spaces, right? Not letting people take advantage of you, right? Um, Speaking your truth, and but most of all, like attending to your joy and happiness, because like at some point I was like really giving from an empty cup. Like I had nothing. I literally had nothing. And it's I've spent a year kind of filling my cup back up, and but nobody should ever get to that point, Shakeyla. Like nobody should ever get to that point. And I think that sometimes as women, we are caretakers in so many ways for our children, for our community, for everybody, except ourselves, that we end up losing ourselves. And and this has actually been an interesting case study, like amongst my friends, because we're all in like our mid 40s, and kind of many of the pivots that many of us have taken in life, and just doing things different, showing up differently. And you get to a point, and I think some of it has to do with wisdom and age, where you're just like, F it, you know? I mean, I'm not gonna put up with this. I'm better than this. And once you think about your joy and happiness, literally everything else starts working out for you. So my mantra is I literally do not do anything. When I say, you mentioned all those boards that I was on, girl, don't you know within like 2 weeks I quit them all. I was like, no, you cannot have my time. You know who can have my time? Me, my daughter, and a few of my friends. That's it. And when I decided who I was going to give my time to, um, things got so much better for me. I just refused to, it's the most valuable thing we have. No, I said no. I mastered the word no. I still say no to this day. Easy. Nope. Not going to do it. And once we start saying no, and once we start attending to our joy and happiness, life is just so much better. One thing I realized pretty recently is life is not meant to be as difficult as it was for me. It was not. I took everything happens the way that it should. But like you were saying, how you wish you had done things sooner. In many aspects, I wish that I had kind of had made the decision sooner, because if I had, I might be in a different place. But now that I make decisions from a place of my happiness, my joy, what makes me happy, everything is better. And you're able to show up more kind of authentically in life, you know? So that's the way I'm moving going forward. I'm not doing anything unless it literally brings me joy. That includes work, that includes relationship, it includes everything in my life.
Yeah, I am so for that. I am so with that. I wow. I had recently, about 2, 3 weeks ago, I posted a councilwoman, the councilwoman that was had been trying to get her splash pad. She did get her splash pad
Oh,
eventually.
good.
She asked me to show up and help acknowledge some women in our community. And um I've been very intentional about where I go and why I go, especially in the city. And um because for those very reasons. And what I also realized is I was very intentional. I went to LC this was last week. It was last week. I went down to LC, and then I realized, you have people that'll say, "Oh, she's not showing up anymore. She quit everything. She don't care about the community anymore." And then you show up. Who she thinks she is? What's she doing here? And so, if you don't make that decision early on to choose, this is how I plan to show up. Those comments like that will will haunt you, and you'll
Mhm.
begin to question: Should I do this? Should I have done that? Should I have? I don't care how y'all feel.
That right
Don't
there. I don't care. I literally don't care what people think about me. I care
know.
a few key people that are
Yeah,
important to me, but
mhm,
other than that, I literally don't care. I don't care.
yeah. This is my point.
It's so freeing.
Very, and then also I realized, and having a conversation with some of the women I serve with, not left anymore, you experience some trauma there. There's some trauma that you experience while serving. And
Yeah, that's true.
so
That's true.
to not have your chest feeling tight all the time,
Oh,
to not have your skin all dry, like all that's connected to just stress,
the stress, the
and
carrying of stress,
heaviness.
not being able to sleep, constantly
Yeah.
thinking about, your decisions and
Hmm.
everything. It's stressful. It is the
Everything.
amount. My body literally, honestly, Shakeyla, right now, my body can't, I feel like I went so far to the edge of stress that my body can't handle stress anymore. It literally can't. So if anything stresses me out, I can't do it physically. So therefore, I keep my life as stress free as possible, because as soon as some stress hits me, that and I feel that feeling, I'm like, oh, I can't. So I'm no more stress, or very, very, very little stress. And if it's stress, it's managed stress, It's not stress that other people are putting on me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Nobody else's
Right.
stress.
It's stressed,
Mm-mm.
like, oh, I need to book my flight, go to Ghana. I need to figure
The
she
decisions that
got
I
a new
have to
baby
make
in
now, like,
2 weeks.
how many days do I stay here? Oh God, like that kind of stress is the
Right,
good stress that I want. Yes.
right.
Yes. I mean, I was joking with my daughter. I joke with everybody about like how it sounds so terrible and bougie to say, but oh my God, traveling is so it's it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of planning.
It is. It
And
is.
but that's the kind of stress that I want in my life. Like,
Mhm,
what am I gonna do next? And I'm gonna start
mhm,
this business when I'm in Ghana. And there's certain aspects, yes, there's certain, I do the tours in Ghana. There's certain aspects of that
mhm.
that are stressful, but it's the stress that I'm willing to deal with. And overall, it's not like, it's not the kind of stress that I was dealing with before. Mm-mm.
Right,
Mm-mm.
right,
No.
right. Now, I remember the day that I lost. I remember election day. Something happened, and just like I said, that voice at 3 a.m. and it told you something happened. I won't say what happened. I was supposed, and some spirit said, "Go get your crime pride."
Go get
I
what? Go
got
to the car
go
and
get
pray.
my
Okay.
crime pride. Yep.
Yep.
I went and I got my car and I sat there and I prayed. And I sat there a good minute and I literally I prayed. I think I called like a friend or two and expressed to them what happened. And it was a friend of faith, because I knew that he would understand. And I said, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be just fine. And what happened, what I expected to happen, because all up until then I was like, I got this, I'm gonna win, I got this. And then that one thing happened. It was like, go get in your car and pray. I went and
Mm,
got my car and prayed. And from that day on forward, I was chill. I was chilling. You hear me? I was
mm,
like, hey,
mm-hmm.
what's up? I was chilling. I didn't give up, but I was chilling.
Yeah.
And then that it happened, and I was just like, okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
free. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
saying that to my friend. We were sitting at the Applebee's bar, and I was like, I'm free. And 4 years for somebody at my age, I got in when I was like 27, 28 ish, somewhere
Wow.
around there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 32 now. I'll be 33 in a few days. And that's a long time for somebody my age. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to have fun. I
Mm-hmm.
get to say what I want to say. I get to do what I want to do. And
Yes.
that
Yes.
was a huge issue for somebody like me. I'm single. I'm
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny when I say it, but like out of shape. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a
Yeah.
man. And so you kind of had to watch how you were moving, in this
100%.
climate,
You
right?
can't
You
date, you
couldn't.
can't put your stuff out there. You like it's your life, all parts of your life are affected. All parts of
Yep,
it.
all
You give up
parts, all
so much.
parts,
Give up so much.
all
I
parts.
gave
And
up so
so
much.
when
We gave up so much.
so much, so
So
much.
much.
And so when it happened, I was just like, oh, I'm about to be busy. I'm about to be busy. And then, oh, wait till April comes. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. And I'm like, who let this girl loose? So who let this girl loose? I'm about to have so much fun. Because yeah, I'm reclaiming my time. And I think before we started recording, it was just like, yes to you reclaiming your time. And
Yes.
this is what I love about when people decide to reclaim their time, especially a Black woman. Okay.
Mhm. She does it right.
She gonna take it. There ain't no in between. She gonna take it far, real far. Gail done took it to a whole different country. Gail said bye. She said, "Hey, thanks, bye."
I know. It's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. I wish I could do like a stand up of just like just like the audacity and how you thought you had me messed up, but And then like, cause I would like look at all the women in history where they did these things. Shout out to Shirley. It's coming out on
Yeah.
Netflix on the 22nd.
Oh,
And like
okay.
I would love to just like be a commentator where I could just be like, just the what might have been going through her mind. It
Right.
was probably what was going through her mind, but just like reprocess what she said into like Shakeyla's modern day terminology, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, listen. Oh my goodness. Cause I feel like unbought and unbossed, but you do not own like and you put a different another
Mhm.
word in front of that and be like, you don't own me. Like
Mhm.
that's what I felt
Mhm.
like she probably wanted to say. I don't
Mhm.
know. But
Mhm.
and okay, I need to get back on track. So okay. So that was a that was a lot, Gail. That was a lot. And
Yeah.
I thank you for standing in your conviction. And I
Yeah.
thank you for not letting how I kind of ended up back in Fayetteville is because one, I don't think I learned a lesson.
Mm.
I was going through a very severe depression and I got my hand popped a little bit and it took me to
Mm.
a place that I just was like, I gotta go home. I need to go home.
Mm.
I was in Atlanta and I knew early on that I needed to transition from what I was doing.
Mhm.
I just didn't.
Mhm.
And I want women to know, like, and just having to be women, but if you get that inkling to do something
Mhm.
and you know it could potentially be a detriment to you,
Mm.
you better do it. You better transition whatever you gotta do
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
yourself where you are safe. And not you don't even have to be where your life is in jeopardy. But I mean when you look at it, grand scheme of things, stuff like that, it bothers your mental health. It gets your mental health. And
Yeah.
so you want to be able to say, I did what was best for me
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And that I thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm,
I think that that's the like I think that's the best point that we could all get to in life is like knowing when one it's okay to say no, it's okay to say
mhm,
yes. It is okay to change your mind literally whenever you want. And the
mhm,
key I think in life is knowing um like understanding when it's time to shift again, you know?
mhm,
Like there are constant shifts and changes happening in our lives. But so many times as women, we just hold on just a little bit too long. And if we just kind of flow a little bit better and just like discern between whether it's something that you really like need to rock with or whether it's actually time to make a change and transition, that's the key. And that's when you end up being in the flow and life is like smoother, right? Like that's always my question now.
absolutely.
Like when is the transition? Is this the transition? Is this the change?
Mhm,
Yeah. So that's been I think that's been also a joy to see myself doing is
yeah,
the transition and the change and knowing when.
right. And when and with this transition, I know we should talk about before we were recording about your daughter and how she's on this transition journey with you.
Yeah.
Um, how have you been with like balancing that with her
It's
and your
tr-
global travels?
it's my Shakila, I can't explain to you how um you know the time that it takes to be an elected official that actually shows up and does the work. It takes a lot of
Oh
time.
God.
I am a
Mm-hmm.
single mother, and the time that it took away from my daughter and our relationship, I look back on it now, and it makes me, you know, a little bit teary-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the fact that we have reclaimed our relationship and our time together really like means a lot to me. And It was very intentional because I feel like for many, many years, you know, the job, like in so many ways, I had to show up. I had to show up and keep on showing up, sometimes at the expense of my relationships and honestly my daughter. And I was like, when I took a step back and I was like, okay, and you know, I told you about that list that I was making, the pros and cons and the benefits and like what I was getting and what like my daughter was there like very clearly, and I could see that like the sacrifice that I was making wasn't just myself, it was like her. And if I continued down this path and this road, what would our lives be? What would her life be? What would our relationship be? And at that point I was like, nope, I'm not willing to sacrifice. At some points you're willing to sacrifice yourself, but I was like, wait a second, I'm actually sacrificing my daughter with these with this, and I was not willing to do that anymore. It became very clear. So right now I feel like she's a teenager now. She's 14. Her transition has been, you know, we've had a fantastic time like traveling together. We've seen amazing and had amazing experiences together. She's transitioning to Ghana. She's going to start high school. She's missing her friends, you know, in the US. She's missing a little bit of like the American culture. I'm 100% I made the correct decision because America is a violent place. Um, Never comfortable with sending her to school. I've never felt the safest as I have when I've been traveling and also in Ghana. It's just a very safe country. Um,
Mhm.
so our relationship has 100% gotten better. Um, I believe that her life, the opportunities that she's going to have, one of the opportunities that one what she's been exposed to as we've been traveling, and two of the opportunities that she is going to have as she goes to this beautiful international, you know, private school in Ghana, and we have a big beautiful house that we're living in, and the freedom to actually be a kid and for me to be able to, you know, let her do her life without worrying if, you know, somebody's going to kidnap her or she's going to get shot at school, like those kinds of things. Like just that layer of being free, right, is going to be so much better for her. And it already has been for us in our relationship. I undoubtedly have made one of the best decisions for our future, undoubtedly.
I love that for you all, and I love that for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Um, I think, eh, I think culture. I I don't. I think culturally, that is going to impact her lifelong.
Yes.
Um, Excited for you all.
The world
So
is her
can
oyster
you?
now. Oh, the world is her
Oh,
oyster. The
yeah,
world is
it's
her
her
oyster.
oyster.
Literally, like, she's now thinking about, well, if she wants to go to college in Europe or if she wants to go to college. So, like, literally, she's thinking the way that she has been exposed to different cultures and the way that she's learned from different people, um, just traveling. And the world has opened up. It's not just the United States anymore. Like, she is a global 100% a global citizen. She's like counting, you know, the amount of countries that she's been to, and she's like, okay, I'm taking a gap year in between high school and college, mom. Just want to let you know that. And, you know, so we've decided that we're going to travel every single year together, whether or not it's a small trip or a big trip. We're going to travel every single year together. She's a great traveling partner. Um, so yes, the world is this child's oyster, and I want what I have been feeling recently for all people. I want people to feel that sense of freedom, right? That sense of safety, that sense of belonging that I have felt over the past, you know, year traveling and visiting Ghana and also um, eventually living in Ghana. I can't.
Awesome.
Now
That
I can,
that.
yeah.
Oh, you can me now.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited for you all. I'm like I'm almost about to cry, but I'm excited for you all and to see another daughter doing that together and just taking advantage of what life has to offer. Um, so global traveler, tell us about how you're integrating community building into your curated excursions with sisters come from diverse backgrounds. And that's something you've been doing. I love reading your emails, by the way. I
Yeah.
love reading them.
Yeah, so one thing, just like I said earlier, is that it's important for me. The reason why I'm curating these trips, I started in Ghana, and now I realize, like, as I've been traveling, I'm going to do trips to my favorite countries that I've experienced. Some of my favorites being Indonesia, specifically, like Bali and Lombok, and then also Vietnam, is one of my favorite countries. Completely was unexpectedly. Um, and Ghana. I was going to do a trip to Zanzibar. I just went to Zanzibar. I'm going to kind of write a little bit about my feelings and thoughts about that. I will no longer be doing a trip to Zanzibar. It is one of the most beautiful, pristine places I've ever been to. But there's some personal kind of conflicts that I have, which I'll tell folks about. So with my trips to Ghana specifically, like I really wanted people to feel that sense of freedom, belonging, safety that I have felt. And eventually, low key, like I want people to move there, right? I want people to I want people to build community and connect people to communities in Ghana. I want people to be I want people to kind of work with the people of Ghana in all ways. Like there's so much that we have to learn from each other. I'm certainly learning a lot, and I think that like a cross-cultural kind of exchange in many different ways is just going to be like would work so well for everybody. So that's part of that's like a tiny bit of my community building. I feel like I'm starting small, but it's mostly to introduce people to a culture and a way of being uh, that they have not been exposed to before. And for me, it was life changing. And for I did a trip pretty recently. For a lot of people, it was life changing. And that's my hope is that people can kind of like I feel like we're under this kind of spell in the US in many ways about it's certainly the veil is being, broken right now, but um that the US is it and it's the best. And when you actually get out of the US and realize how other people live, you realize what a more problematic than we realize being inside the country that it actually is, right? And that there are other ways of being, living, doing, succeeding in life. We work way too hard in America, way too hard. We literally work ourselves to death. And I want people to understand like, you don't have to work yourself to death. You don't have to carry a 30-year mortgage and hundreds of thousands or, thousands of student debt in order to continually be in debt to um, be successful in the United States. It's in some sense it's slavery, this whole kind of like debt system that we have in the US because that's not what they have across the world, in many ways. So building community one person, at a time by exposing folks to the culture of Ghana and these other places that I've been that I adore and love.
That's exciting. But how many trips do you probably produce every a year?
So I just started. So I did my first
Mhm.
one a few months ago, and I have four coming up. And we will see kind of how that goes. It's part of what I'm going to be doing. It's not going to be my primary business because, like I said, I'm
Mhm.
starting a new business when I'm in Ghana.
Mhm.
But I absolutely want to keep doing them because it is like my joy to see how people's lives are changed when they come to the motherland and when they come specifically to Ghana. Yeah,
I'm excited for you. That's so exciting. And
yeah.
it's funny. Um, and people can deny it. I think when people see you do or make a decision to do what you did, they want to see you not be successful in anything else
Mm,
that you do.
mm,
And that's just I believe is just a fact. Especially if
mhm,
it has impacted the people that maybe you're working with or whatever. And so I am so glad to see that one, you don't care. And that you're like, no, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm reclaiming all of me, my daughter. I'm not sacrificing her. Um, so thank you for that.
yeah.
So I like to do something where I said what I said moment. And
Mm,
what I said moment is maybe something that a moment in time, or just like a saying, a mantra of yours where, no, I said what I said. What you got?
oh, you know what? I think my I said what I said moment, and it's not a phrase. I really believe my I said what I said moment was my resignation letter.
Mm,
Girl, I laid it all out on the table, okay? I left no stones unturned. I called folks out, and I was like, y'all need to hear it, and this is what it is.
mm-hmm,
Period, point blank. I was very well prepared. I had
mm-hmm.
all of my receipts, okay? I called a special meeting for it. I called a
What?
special meeting to resign.
And then didn't you like stand up in front of everybody and read everything? Oh my goodness, I am with that.
And
That's my type of carrying on. That is my type of carrying, because if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
yes. So that was my and I posted it on my website. Of course all the news picked it up. I had everybody had access to the written document because I was very clear about every single point and why, from the different projects that I feel like from the city manager to the different projects and the way that he was handling it and to every single thing I laid out. So yes, that was my I said what I said moment, my resignation letter.
I am with it. So, Hats Off Sister Talk is a spin-off segment of my show, Key to the City. And let's give a key. What is a something that you would consider a key to success, of an insight, tip, strategy, some guidance that you could lead with women who are
Mm.
going through life, working, leading, serving?
Wow. You know what? I think I said it before and I'll say it a little bit more clearly. Be selfish. Put your joy, your happiness, your needs first because once you are taken care of, then you can take care of everybody else.
Mhm.
But when you come from a place of doing things from your joy and happiness, then I believe that everything ends up working out for you. Not to say there aren't lessons to be learned in life. You
Mhm.
can't always operate in joy and happiness,
Mhm.
but when that is the goal, that should be your North Star and your goal.
Yes,
My joy, my happiness. I don't give a hoot what other people think.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I sound like what's her name from SNL. Was it Lisa from Temecula? I know
Mhm.
that's right. It better not I know that's right. So,
Yeah.
listen, I want to thank you so much again, Gail, for just spending time with me today. It has been so much fun. I'm glad I got to giggle, laugh, and
Yes.
I know some people are gonna cringe at what we giggle and laugh at, but listen, we're on the other side of these types of, things. All you can do is laugh, be thankful, and share love. And so I thank you
Yes.
so much. Um, it just to see you like just I was like a fan of yours when I met you, and I was like, oh my gosh, you did what? That's what I'm talking about. And so I was a fan early on when I first met you, and I still am. And I just thank you for taking time to spend with me. After you're in Ireland, and listeners, to if you want to learn more about Gail Johnson and the trips that she has coming up that you can participate in. She does have a newsletter list. I'm going to put her link in the description where you can find out more, get involved, and she's just a beautiful soul. So please, please, please,
Oh,
look at joining in on the global traveling that she is doing. And one of the things that I do love about that she's doing it. I have another girlfriend. Her name is Atani. She does some of the similar things. She's in Jacksonville, Florida, and she's from Ghana. You either trust somebody that's from there, or you trust somebody that has had a good understanding of politics and government. Because the way that the world is today,
mhm,
you need to be surrounded by be with someone who knows when it's safe to travel there, who knows the political standing of what's happening there, understand the culture, especially if we're women. Not all women get treated the same in certain countries, and so it's key to have that understanding. And so, out of the two women that I've met, in terms of like doing the type of international traveling that they are doing, Gail is definitely one of them in a tiny. So thank you so much, Gail.
thank
Um,
you. It's been
you
a
ha-
pleasure. I love having fun with you. Yes, we had a good time.
All right, y'all. So next week is it's gonna be a fun episode. I'm gonna say this. Y'all remember when we did the Hey Queen video? We have something nice coming up for the ladies. So yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.